Hello, I'm Sam, avid football fan and avid talking about football fan. So here we are for episode 2 with one clear message. Don't panic, don't panic, don't panic, don't panic. That's the sound of fire extinguishers, putting out the fires of panic, by the way, if that wasn't clear. Pre-season World Cup Friendlies. Pre-World Cup Friendlies. England beat New Zealand 1-0. I think I saw what I wanted to see. I saw moments. I think moments was all I was looking for, really. I'm not expecting a polished performance, particularly in 33-degree heat. But I saw some fast, direct passing, which was good. And some kind of pressing. So Tuchel wants to be an intense football team with a lot of pressing. And that is very difficult to do at 33 degrees Celsius heat. But I think I got enough out of that. I mean, I just... Part of me thinks, as I was watching it, this isn't really for us football fans sitting at home watching. It's almost like you could just play it behind closed doors. No one has to really watch this because it's so for the manager and the players to acclimatise and all this kind of stuff that I'm sure many England fans will have watched that being like, oh, I'm not happy with that. I'm not happy with the performance. We only won 1-0. That's crazy. New Zealand are the lowest ranked side in the World Cup. That's not good enough. And there were moments where we looked a bit disjointed. But it's don't worry about it. I'm not worried about it. My question to you is, what do you want to get out of watching these friendlies? And the England versus Costa Rica, as I record now, is tomorrow evening. So we haven't seen that yet. We don't know what's going to happen. I'd hope for a better performance. I'd take a better performance than a 0-0 because the results don't matter at all. But that's... Yeah. What are you hoping to get out of these two games? What do you want to see? I mean, in an ideal world, obviously the answer is to win 5-0 both games and play brilliant, liquid football. But realistically, what would worry you, and what would make you really optimistic, apart from the obvious? Because I'm not that fussed with any of this. I'll be fussed when we play Croatia. But in terms of the friendlies, my personal opinion on it is don't worry about it. Whatever happens, even if Costa Rica beat us 1-0 tomorrow, I don't know how concerned I'll be, because also once you get to Croatia, let's say we lose 1-0 tomorrow, we'll get to a point where it'll be like, right, reload, clean slate, fresh start. This is the first game of the World Cup. Doesn't matter about the past. And these two friendlies will be beneficial for the manager, the coaching staff, the players. Doesn't matter about us at all. But that's what I think. And I wanted to go through... I mean, last week, Spain played Iraq. Drew 1-1. So Spain won, Iraq won. France won, Ivory Coast 2. Netherlands 0, Algeria 1. None of those are very confidence-inspiring results. I did watch the highlights of all those. Oh, the top teams look good. Netherlands had so many chances. And France and Spain looked brilliant, but they just didn't take away their chances. And they had little defensive moments. We had defensive moments. There were times when we didn't look particularly structured, but that's just something that will come. It's all kind of new for everyone because we're just coming out of the season and going into the World Cup. So there will be teething moments, but you just got to get through them really quickly. I would like to say as well, France looked scary. I watched France versus Northern Ireland last night, and France won 3-1, and the things that they did were petrifying. Because France on paper looked great. They've got an incredible squad, but how do you put that together and make that a fluid machine? It looks like a well-oiled machine. Mbappe up front. I think it was Ousmane Dembele behind him. Elise on the right and Desiree Doué on the left. That's crazy. And you're leaving out Cherki and Barcola and so many other players I'm probably forgetting that just could make another second 11 that's brilliant. But they look really scary. So that's something to make note of. But yeah, what are you hoping for with these friendlies, and does it matter? Let's review the new boys. So, 4 nations that are brand new, never done a World Cup before. Curaçao, Cape Verde, Jordan and Uzbekistan. But before I start talking about them, if you're like me, then you will find this fascinating. I wanted to figure out what decides the FIFA World Rankings. They are official. England are currently number 4. England are the 4th best side in the world, according to FIFA. So I looked up how it all works. So firstly, let's say England, who are number 4 in the world, are playing San Marino, who are last. They're 211th in the world. So first it starts with how important is the match. So if it's a friendly, then that's the least importance. If it's a World Cup qualifier or a Euro qualifier, etc. Like it goes up and up. Then it will take the expected result. So if England beat San Marino, if it's not guaranteed, they don't get many points for that because they were expected to win. However, if San Marino beats England, that is a huge upset and you get more points. San Marino gets way more points than England would for winning that match. Yeah, so I just found that interesting. Did you find that interesting? Or anyway. New boy number 1, Curaçao. Curaçao are 83rd in the world. They are the smallest ever nation in FIFA World Cup history to compete at the World Cup. They've got a population of 156,000 people, 171 square miles. Geography, if that's not interesting. Their manager, for 2015 Sunderland fans, is Dick Advocat. And fun fact, Curaçao, Netherlands, Iraq, Serbia, Russia, Belgium, South Korea, United Arab Emirates. Dick has managed them all. He's managed 8 different international sides, as well as his, I'm sure, illustrious club managerial career. That's mental. But that's also experience. They haven't won a game for a while. I think that they have the Gold Cup, and they drew with Canada a year ago. I've been trying to look for where have they been competitive, and they drew with Canada a year ago. That is the answer. They're in the group with Germany, Ecuador and Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast recently beat France 2-1 in a friendly, so they're no pushovers. Germany, obviously Germany. And Ecuador, we'll see. So good luck to our first new boy. New boy number 2, Cape Verde. They're 68th in the world, and they are the 3rd smallest nation to get to a World Cup finals. They're well organised. 40% of their goals have come from set pieces. Arsenal. So, you know, it works. It worked for us. So why not them? Their first game is against Spain. My prediction is 8-0. I don't think set pieces are going to help you against Spain, who look frightening. They've also got Uruguay in the group, which isn't great, and Saudi Arabia. So just another little lovely little good luck to our new boy too. New boy number 3, Jordan. Jordan have never been to a World Cup before. They are 63rd in the world at the moment. So there were an extra 4 spots, obviously 16 extra spots in the World Cup. There was an extra 4 spots for the Asias. And they have beaten Iraq and Saudi Arabia recently, who rank above them, in the Arab Cup as well. This was like 6 months ago. And they lost the final to Morocco 3-2. Morocco are 8th in the world in the FIFA World Rankings. That's not bad. So they could do some good stuff. They have their star striker, who they don't have. He's injured for this World Cup, so they're without their star player, which isn't great. But the good news is they're in with Argentina, Austria, and Algeria, which isn't great either. Good luck. New boy number 4, Uzbekistan. Yes, Uzbekistan. 50th in the world. Yes, 50th, which is brilliant. Really high. If the World Cup was still with 32 teams and not 48, they still would have made it into the World Cup. They're smashing it. Apparently they've got quite an aged, experienced squad. They've got Kusanov from City, so Premier League fans will know him. Their manager is a World Cup winner. It's Fabio Cannavaro, Italian World Cup winner. That's amazing. And apparently he's really like Gareth Southgate. He's got a club vibe with their national team, which is brilliant. So you can't go wrong. They definitely could be a dark horse in this. Who have they got in their group? They've got Colombia, Portugal, and Dominican Republic of Congo. They could beat Dominican Republic of Congo. They might not beat Portugal. They could draw against Colombia. That's all right. But they could do really well. They could be a really nice one to watch. Special mention, Haiti. Haiti are the second lowest ranked team in the World Cup at 83. But it's their second World Cup. They have qualified before in 1974. They lost every single game. Last week, however, they absolutely smashed New Zealand 4-0. But they did lose then immediately afterwards to Peru 2-1. But Peru lost to Spain last night, but they scored. They only lost 3-1, so they scored against Spain. So, we're trying to be positive. They are in a group with Scotland, Brazil and Morocco, so they could lose every single game again. But, and if this is interesting, I found this interesting, so I'm going to tell you, and you should find this interesting. It's really interesting. They have a bigger population. Haiti have a bigger population than Sweden, Belgium, Switzerland, and Portugal. Not combined. Obviously not combined. But that's amazing. They're huge. They're huge. Obviously, Portugal are a huge footballing nation. Switzerland are always there. Sweden and Belgium are usually there. I found that interesting. Special mention number 2, our lowest ranked team, New Zealand. Best player, man who needs no introduction, Chris Wood. To get to the World Cup, they beat Tahiti, Vanuatu, if I'm saying that right, Samoa, Fiji, and New Caledonia. They have not been tested for a very long time, so I fear for them. If I'm able to feel fear for New Zealand, if I'm able to care that much. They also haven't won a game for a year. They drew with Norway in October, so that's good. But yeah, they've just not been tested at all. Those teams who they beat to get to the World Cup, you'd be shocked and worried for them if they got to the World Cup. So, we'll see. They've been to the World Cup twice before, 1982 and 2010. Lost every game in 1982. In 2010, New Zealand were the only team in the whole World Cup to go unbeaten. They drew every single game in their group, and 3 points wasn't enough for them to get through the group stages. So they went out, but they were completely unbeaten. It's not bad, is it? So they don't have any World Cup wins yet. Watch this space.
Oh, it's all over the floor.
It's the mess of the week. This is going to be a common theme, I feel, over the summer with the World Cup. So this is really recent, like literally last 12 hours or so. One of Africa's top referees, a guy called Omar Artan, a Somali referee, who was handpicked by FIFA because he's brilliant, his visa has been denied. America haven't said why, but he can't go to the World Cup. So that's it. He's not in the World Cup. The Miami airport, they just basically have denied access, and no reason has been given. And he was given like a special passport to get him there, but that wasn't enough. And literally, Infantino, the president of FIFA, said a couple of weeks ago, and I quote, "This World Cup is going to be the most inclusive of all time." That's not very inclusive of you. That's crazy. Also, Algeria, Senegal, Ivory Coast, Cape Verde, Iran, who America are currently at war with, and Tunisia, all those nations are going to the World Cup. A month ago, they were all on America's travel ban list. So they've opened up the old gates just for these couple of months, and then I assume they'll close them immediately afterwards. Most inclusive World Cup of all time, ladies and gentlemen. Brilliant. That's good. Absolutely mental. Also, this is the first time a host nation of the World Cup has been at war with one of the competing nations. So history made. Brilliant. Good work, America. I hope. Oh, America.
Oh, that's a lovely cup of hot take.
Hot take. Hot take of the week. Elliot Anderson will be one of, if not the, player of the tournament at the World Cup this year. I rate him so highly. I think he's brilliant, and I can see him with Declan Rice in midfield. He does so much work so that Declan Rice can be Declan Rice. And I just wanted to go through some stats from last season as well. I just think he's got better and better and better. He won the most duels in the Premier League with all the players, every single player in the Premier League. He had more duels than them. Won more duels than them. Fourth most tackles. Fifth most tackles won. Eighth in successful short passes. Do you know, successful long passes? The most successful long passes in the Premier League in 2025-26 was Jordan Pickford. So if you get annoyed that Jordan Pickford keeps going long over the World Cup, that's probably why. He's going to be very accurate. I don't really know what a lot of this means. Elliot Anderson, successful crosses in open play, sixth highest successful crosses. Joint fourth most interceptions of midfielders, sixth most blocks of midfielders, most touches in the Premier League. Elliot Anderson. All of the things that I've just said are with Nottingham Forest as well, where at one point they looked like they were going to be relegated, and then they had a brilliant last 10 games or so. But I just think when you watch him, he's brilliant. He's a calm, collected, holding midfielder, and he's so skillful as well. I just think people underrate him, and no wonder Man City and Man United, but I think he prefers Man City, are going for him because he can take the step up. Is he 23 at the moment? And one thing that did surprise me is he is a very skillful player, and I would not be surprised, and I say this as an Arsenal fan, I wouldn't be surprised if he took his game to a level which was equal or above Declan Rice's. because I think he's got it all. I just think he's such a baller. And I can just see this World Cup just being a perfect opportunity for him to showcase what he can do. If we don't concede that much, which we could. I know our defence isn't the greatest it could ever be, but it hasn't been for a long time. And Southgate sorted us out with don't concede first and then try and win the game. But I just think Elliot Anderson can be our game changer if we go 1-0 up against Brazil, Argentina, further down the line. I can just see Elliot Anderson being that guy who will take us and elevate us. Do you remember when, was it 2010, the golden generation, when Owen Hargreaves went? And it was all these big names. And Owen Hargreaves, no one really liked Owen Hargreaves. People weren't sure why he was picked. And he ended up being one of the best players at the tournament for England. Maybe the best player for England. I can just see Elliot Anderson on that trajectory, heading in that direction. And I know we've got Kane, who will be brilliant. But I just think don't sleep on Elliot Anderson. He is going to be, in my opinion, one of the most important players for England before this World Cup. You heard it here first. Okay, one final question. This is probably Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo's last World Cup. I say probably. I wouldn't be surprised in 4 years if I'm having exactly the same conversation. But it made me think, and I watched the documentary Messi versus Ronaldo and just thought about their dominance over the last 10, 15 years, and it's been crazy. But who's the next generational number one? I'm directing this question to you specifically. Because we'll have brilliant players. We currently have very good players. You could argue one or the other is brilliant right now. This player is the best in the world. But who's the next player to be that generational, they're up there, they're going to be one or two every single year, we'll never see this again kind of player? And all I can think, I think Lamine Yamal is my favourite player. He, for me, is the next clear player who can elevate himself to that level, that stratosphere of being every year top 3 best players in the world. He's just going to be consistently up there because he's 18 and look at what he's done already. He won the Euros 2 years ago at 16 years old. He won the Euros. That's like right now if we took Max Dowman or Ungamoa. Actually, Max Dowman's 16, Ungamoa's 17. So if we took Max Dowman from Arsenal and played him in every single match in the World Cup and won the World Cup, and Max Dowman was one of the best players on our team, that's crazy what he's done already. And he's 18. He's 18. He's not even started his career yet, and he's already won the Euros and titles with Barcelona. So for me, he's maybe the clear favourite to be that next guy. But still a long way to go. And I do think of Ungamoa and Max Dowman, and I look at what they're achieving at their age, and they could easily be, give it 2 years' time, when it's the Euros, Max Dowman on the right, Ungamoa on the left, we could have 2 of the best wingers in the same team, English, in the world. You know? Who knows what's going to happen? But then we've also got Lennart Karl. I haven't seen much of Lennart Karl. Young German, Bayern Munich. Again, touted to be one of the next best things. And we've got some of these players who are coming through. I'm just thinking in our timeline, where are we looking at? It's too soon for Max Dowman and Ungamoa. Lamine Yamal is emerging. I still think he's emerging. I don't think he's emerged yet. I love watching him play, and I do get those feelings like when I watch Messi play. There'll be moments where Messi will do something and it will be like, no one else can do that. I see that. I see that in Lamine Yamal. And And I see that with these young players, but again, it's too soon to say. I just don't know. Who do you think will be the next best player in the world? And I'm not saying who's going to win the Ballon d'Or next year or for the next couple of years. I'm talking the next 10 years. Which players are we looking at and do we see as the next best thing? And I think about Mbappe as well. He was 19 when he won the World Cup. He was the player of the tournament. He was incredible. But do you look at him and do you see the best player in the world right now? And maybe he is. But do you see him being the best player in the world for next year and the next 5 years? Do you see him consistently being up there as a top 3 player for a long time? I don't know if I do. I think he's brilliant. But, you heard my hot take last week, was he'll never win a Champions League because I think he does have an ego. And I think part of that is probably because he achieved so much at a young age. And then I look at Lamine Yamal and, he's 18. In 4 years' time, are we going to be like, oh, yeah, that guy, yeah, he didn't quite achieve it because it went to his head, like Mbappe. But Mbappe's still doing it. I don't know. Help me out. Help me figure it out, because I just think it's an interesting question. We might not see anyone be as good as Messi or Ronaldo for 20 years. Or is that crazy? I don't know. If I've said anything that you disagree with, please argue with me in the comments. Please like, please subscribe, please show me, please just hit refresh on the thing. Once you get to the end of it, just hit refresh and then just have it on in the background just to bump up views. That's a good way to end things, isn't it? I'm on my hands and knees. Please, just one more view. Oh, I'm running out of steam, aren't I? That's probably a good place to leave it. Thanks so much for viewing, watching, listening, loving. I'll see you on the next one. World Cup!
If you enjoyed this podcast, please like, please subscribe, please write it down on a sticky note and stick it to your back so when you're walking around everyone's like, hey, what does that say? Let's Google it. And please join me next time.